What you doing?
I'm writing.
Do you care to tell the people what you're writing and maybe where they could go to perhaps find out more about it?
Well, I'm documenting the day. And, well, I've been carrying this keypad basically since almost Mexico. And I have been documenting every single night and day and everything. And I am going to put it in a book with all of your artwork that you've been painting on trail. And it's going to be a dope documentation of the Pacific
And
Crest Trail.
is there any way that somebody could maybe pay a deposit and get a pre-order of this book?
There is.
How should they do that?
They can go to our website, Riedel Gallery, or it is a link in each one of the descriptions of my videos, or our videos, and they can read more about it there.
How much does it cost and what do they get?
It costs $25 to put a deposit down on the book, and anyone who does a deposit before the book has been published gets a free watercolor art. Good morning from day 141. I am wet. It is wet. It was a wet night. Everything's wet. In this amazing cabin right here, there is a fireplace. And there was a fire last night, so Bobby and I were able to hang our hiking clothes and a few other things. But it was kind of crowded, and also I'm not a huge fan of sleeping in community shelters and structures like that. Number one is because, well, first and foremost, it's also because I couldn't work. So usually when Bobby and I get in the tent, we're up for a couple hours. I'm editing videos, and then I'm also writing. So can't do that in a community space. Second of all, these types of structures always have mice because people are in there and they're eating and stuff like that. And so I'm just me and mice, no. But anyways, but it's so cool. It is the Camp Mike Urich cabin, and it was amazing that there was a fire. I was hopeful that this morning there would still be coals and we could kind of stoke it up and maybe dry out our tent a little bit. But whatevs, it was still amazing. Bobby and I just set up our tent in the trees over there. Got a little bit wet, but I think everybody's a little bit wet today. And I think we didn't talk very much yesterday because it was raining and it was wet. But yeah, feeling good. We got 2 days until our next resupply, so that's exciting. Are you deciding to build a fire?
Yeah.
Ah.
Back there, I don't know.
How do you feel, baby?
I feel good. How about yourself?
Do you feel wet?
You know, just slightly damp.
Yeah.
Not too bad though.
Forgot something?
Just double checking. It's a long ways back, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Somebody else did the work. And we off. It was very tempting to stay as those two other hikers started doing all the work of building a fire. But it's 9 o'clock and we got miles to cover. So it's gonna be a little damp today, a little damp tonight, but that's how we do. snack break.
Rice Krispie treat.
And our view. Well, it's 16 days. That's it.
Yep.
16. Oh, freak out. Dun, 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 dun.
It gets too hot, obviously.
Dude, my hips are tight.
I love when I'm trying to film some nice scenery and then you got like the hiker combo going on. The puffy conversation.
The hips are
Just
tight.
random stretching.
Well, Bobby and I were having way too much fun playing our game story time, and we accidentally hiked past our water. So now we have 9 miles to go before our next water. We both have about a half a liter of water. Thankfully, it's nice and cool out, so it shouldn't be too bad. But we were like, all right, it's time to crush. So no more talking, headphones in, music on, crush into 9 miles. Here we go. So I'm sure a lot of you know who have been following me a while. But there is a fire in the North Cascades regions of Washington. And so Bobby and I have figured out our final walk around of the fire, which is kind of a bummer because I was really looking forward to the Cascades, but not a bummer in that by doing this, we will have successfully completed the entire Pacific Crest Trail on a continuous footpath. And I say Pacific Crest Trail with a grain of salt because obviously you guys know we haven't hiked every bit of the trail, but we have maintained a continuous footpath all the way from Mexico to Canada, which is exciting. The other funny thing is, like, I've been obsessively checking and recalculating the mileage because I've told you before, Bobby and I also fly out on September 11th out of Seattle, which, like I mentioned, only is 17 days away from now. And I keep being afraid that we miscalculated our mileage or that we're not going to get there in time for some strange reason. It's funny how we could have come so far and I could still be nervous that we're not going to make it to the terminus of Canada, which is ridiculous. But pretty exciting stuff, and I feel the end. It is a strange thing. It's a strange thing of being exhausted and wanting it to be over, and yet at the same time resisting the idea of it being over. Just a roller coaster of emotions. And Washington, I'll tell you what, Washington is absolutely beautiful. We have seen the most weather out of the entire trail in Washington, and it just adds to it. I thought Washington was going to look like this, and it definitely did not disappoint. So we just live in it. Tell you what, I love seeing your cute little shorts ahead of me. I could do this.
You got it. I believe in you.
Yes. Okay, we stopped for lunch, and of course you guessed it. Yes, you know exactly what our food is right now. And
It is meaty, cheesy mayo tortillas.
yay! Do you miss our stove?
Occasionally, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But the cold mashed potatoes aren't bad.
They really are not.
Yeah.
And we had a very successful trial of a top ramen and rice in cold soaking it. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. But it was like the trick was the amount of water you put in it, and you just had to make sure you didn't put too much water. Anyways.
Okay.
I was talking about it because people were asking if we missed our stove, and then they were like, your stove must not be, like, it's not that heavy. Why aren't you carrying a stove? It's cold right now. And so I was just saying,
Because we ditched it and we're too stubborn to try to get it back. That's
I mean,
basically what we ditched it, because it got hot, and we wanted to ditch the weight of the fuel, the weight of the pot, the weight of the stove, and then we would get rid of the necessity to like resupply and all that stuff.
Yes. To
Plus,
constantly
I
have
was
to
really
buy
just
fuel.
digging like the non-cooked food, like meats and cheeses and stuff.
And we weren't even really like using it that much. We would like make hot coffee in the morning.
I do miss hot coffee though.
I know, now we do. Now that it's gotten cooler, it is interesting. But like Bobby said, it's like we don't want to bother with getting it back.
Right, because then you have to like find a place to ship it, and then it takes a million weeks to get there, and maybe we're
There's
even
fire reroutes
done with the
going
trail.
on
Yeah,
right
fire
now.
reroutes. We don't know where we're gonna be, and
Yeah.
so if we were to get another one, I would say we would just buy one somewhere.
Which we could.
Could, yeah. But we're also cheap.
Yeah. Yes.
Stubborn and cheap.
Stubborn and cheap. There we go. That'll explain us. Also, you like our cute matching coats? I don't think anybody ever noticed that we both have, I wonder, Big Agnes puffies.
Dude, we're like a Big Agnes. Why haven't they hit us up yet?
They should hit us up.
Man, we got y'all's tent, your puffy.
It's just because these were on sale, actually.
Yeah. Just keep coming out with cheap shit and we'll get it.
Oh.
You're so cute. More than that now.
Well, we've gone about 17 miles. It is 4 o'clock, and it's humid. And we're going to just keep hiking. The miles seem to be going by, like, pretty easy, surprisingly. So maybe I'll eat those words, but it's nice. It's really nice.
It's amazing.
Hey, baby. It's almost 6 o'clock.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, son of a gun. At mile marker 2,371.7. So we're essentially at 2,370, which is
Whoa.
cool. I didn't realize that.
Whoa, we passed the 200 mark like well.
2,000 mark.
No, the 2002 mark.
Oh yeah,
the last time we looked at it was 2,200.
It was 2,200, and we're almost 200 miles past that. We're 30 miles away from 2,400.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Also, we found these rocks that say 1,000. That math don't math on either end.
It's sad too because it's such a nice rock arrangement.
It is such a nice little sign there. I'm not sure.
I don't know who's hitting 1,000 or what it means. Maybe it means I love you 1,000.
I'm
Good
gonna
job.
go with that. Some huckleberries. All right, well, it is about 6:30 and we're about 22 miles from Snoqualmie, and we're coming up to a spring and a tent site, which just a few minutes ago we were debating whether or not we wanted to like hike late into the night. So we're gonna check out these campsites, check out this water, and see. We're on track, so there's no real rush to get to Snoqualmie, but Snoqualmie means pizza. And
how many miles do you need to go to get to pizza?
Exactly. Exactly. 22 to be exact.
Yep. You want to watch us hike some of that tonight, or you want to hike it all tomorrow? That's the question.
This is the question.
Yep.
Ah, yes, the squeezing of the water via the power of the thighs.
First you squeeze, and then you sneeze.
Okay, after not much deliberation, we have decided to stay. And I am currently cold soaking. This is ramen and rice. And I do believe that I have figured out the cold soaking process. And that is to barely cover it with water. You can't just dump a bunch of cold water in there because it's not going to cook it. And then you just have a bunch of like cold water. So you just have to put in barely enough that it cold soaks it. And then it's delicious.
Word.
See? Perfect cold soak. I've discovered how to do it. Perfect. Is it good?
Is that good? Yeah.